are numbers that associate themselves, the numbers that associate themselves in between the words are numbers that associate themselves in between the words as individual numbers that can be clicked on when you use the book or the electronic book or electronic Bible called eSword, provided to you free from the company that downloads digital Bibles into your computer, aka eSword. These numbers that I just mentioned are numbers that give you a basic understanding of each word. For instance, this word angel has the number G32 next to it. So when you highlighted it by putting the cursor over this word, when you were in the book eSword or utilizing the eSword Bible, and I'll show you that by going to my start menu, I will open up the book that is called eSword. I will open up the book that is called eSword, and then I will show you how the eSword Bible works so that you can follow through with these words as well. This is the daily tip of the day, which is not necessary. So if you were to go, let's just go, we're at Revelation 9, verse 1. Here's the number, let's just say the bottomless pit. Okay? The word pit is signified by G5421. And when you hover over this number, I think that let's go to the middle of the page, the word pit. Okay. When you hover over the number G4521, it gives you a definition that pops up on the screen that says, of uncertain derivations, a hole in the ground dug for obtaining or holding water or other purposes. That is a cistern, figuratively speaking, an abyss. However, in terminology that has to do with the Bible, these words can take on different understandings. The word earth, all the other words in the Bible, when you use this eSword program, are discussed, and the definitions are thus accordingly, according to the numbers that associate themselves next to the definitions. And that's a completely 100% free program that Rick provides, and it has study guides and study notes in the Bible program called eSword. It's a really cool program, folks. Now, after we read verse 1, I said, well, complicated chapter, and there are only 5 different people, entities involved. So I must pay attention. It looks like it's going to be easy to lose track. Now, I said that because the revelation of Jesus Christ was given from God to Jesus Christ, to the angels, to St. John, and then given to the people of this world via 5 different intermediaries, so to speak. Okay? It's not like God said. God said this to Jesus. Jesus said this to the angels. The angel said this to John. And then John took 60 years to write it down with a piece of crayon inside a tent or a cave under candlelight. It's a really absurd story. But that's the gist of it, is that this fellow spent 60 years to interpret something that was given to him in an instant. Probably like a holograph that took up the entire sky, and a 3-dimensional one at that. And I believe that holograph was a picture of the $1 bill where he could see through it in 3-dimensional constructs with probably live figurines actually taking place in this 3-dimensional construct. That sounds completely bizarre. But I got to tell you, folks, The only way this could have happened was for somebody or something to implant all of this into John's mind, where he saw it in a three-dimensional construct. Now, at the bottom of page 766, the fact that there are 5 separate and distinct entities represented in verse 1 alone is going to prove interesting. These are my thoughts, because the understanding of the book of Revelation is just not easy. To complicate matters even worse, the servants are multiples, and this could mean that there are 2 servants or 2 trillion servants. And in this case, there is an untold amount of servants, because the angels represent the spiritual figures that gave the information to St. John, and the angels are also represented in pictography as the $1 bills, because what you see before you on your screen, aside from representing the word book and a scroll, is also an angel. Now, how can I say something like this? I can say it's an angel because, by definition, an angel is a specific entity that comes to or from a place and transfers information that is beneficial to another being, whether they are human or spirit in nature. An angel is a benevolent being that gives information to another person or being. In this case, of course, the original angel was spirit that gave John the information from Christ. However, this information is now transposed via this angel, the $1 bill, which now has all the information of St. John in pictograph or pictography or iconology or icon forms. And those pictographs are associated and described via the words in the Bible itself. So this angel of the Lord and this being an angel of the Lord are now one and the same, as they represent the spirit nature of God in a mannerism that goes so far beyond human comprehension that if 10,000 people listen to this dissertation, only a handful of people could see the ramifications of what I just said to not only be true, but to see it in their mind as a distinct possibility. The rest of the multitudes of the people of this world are going to say that Michael Fazio is delusional. And yet, I get you people every day saying you're crazy, you're delusional, you're insane, blah, 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 blah. You haven't proved me wrong. I wrote a book. No one has taken a piece of the book and tried to dissect the book and prove me wrong. Even if I made a few spelling errors or a few grammatical errors, which I did, you still can't prove. You can't prove anything I just said in the last 10 minutes. You can't prove one word of it wrong. Because the definition of the word angel is what I said. The definition of the word pit, according to the definitions in the eSword Bible, is the word pit. The fact that there are 2 angels associated with John, the one in spirit, and this, if this is a piece of information that is given to the people of this world, by definition of the word angel, this is an angel. You can't prove one word of what I just said wrong. So, but of the 10,000 people that see it, only a few of them are going to say, yeah, I know what the word, yeah, that's right, he's right, the word angel, it really means a benevolent entity giving a piece of information. That's the real definition of the word angel, folks. I am telling you what the word angel means. You want to see the word angel as an entity with wings and a white gown. That's what you think of an angel. This is as much of an angel as a being with white wings. So moving back to the book, Angels on the Ark, to complicate matters even worse, the servants are multitudes, and this could mean 2 servants or 2 trillion servants. And that's the case, because the 2 servants, or the angels that spoke with St. John, and the 2 trillion angels, or the 2 trillion individual $1 bills, or 2 billion $1 bills, or 2 billion $1 bills that have been viewed 1 trillion times. It's a semantics thing at some point. Any $1 bill is one servant. But if you give it to 100 people, it served 100 purposes. If you give it to 1 billion people, the same $1 bill is looked at by 1 billion people. It could serve as a piece of information to 1 billion people. In this case, these servants have gone through all